if we start over from the very beginning, you want to go ahead and start with a new document. We went this way yesterday where we hit part file here. I want to go ahead and use the new icon up here because it looks a little bit different. When I click that new icon, the one that you want is called a standard IPT, which is this one here. So you go ahead and double click that. That opens up your screen. I'm going to hit create a sketch. And remember, everything we're going to do right now is on the XY plane. So I'm going to go ahead and click the XY plane, and that's going to give us our workspace. I want to work a little bit with the L right now. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line, or draw my lines in my L. And I'm going to go ahead and make a mistake happen where I don't close that gap in. Okay? This can happen a couple of different ways. One, you accidentally click too soon. Or two, sometimes when Inventor changes the dimensions, or when you change a dimension in Inventor and it make it bigger, sometimes it will create that gap for you automatically. It shouldn't do that, but it does because the points aren't connected. Right now, what I want you guys to do is just go ahead and delete that line and redraw it. To delete a line, you're going to simply highlight it, right click, and hit delete. Another way you can do it is just simply highlight it or click on it and then hit the delete icon on your computer keyboard, and that will take care of it. Once you have that line deleted, just simply redraw it back in and make sure that it's connected. So if you have gaps in there, right now that's how I want you to fix it. Later on, I'm going to show you an easier way to do it, but I don't want to just keep showing you all kinds of new things and flood you with too much at one time. Okay? As you dimension, and this will happen, but it will not happen for me right now because it never happens when I want it to, type thing. As you make a change, if something changes, I make a change on Inventor and then it screws up your drawing to where it just looks like nothing it should be when you start it, the best thing for you to do right now is just go ahead and hit Control-Z or undo and just take it back and then go to another line and start dimensioning it and then come back to that spot later on. So there'll be times where you change this line right here to 1, and what it will do is it'll take this line up and it'll make it kind of a backwards L than what it was originally. So it kind of messes everything up. So go ahead and just undo that and then start all over and work your way around a different direction with the dimensions. That's another way, if you start with the biggest dimension first, it helps avoid a lot of those errors. Okay, so let's just say that I am done and I finish my sketch and I go ahead and extrude it. Now, did anybody notice what I did wrong on the sketch?
You didn't put in the size.
I didn't put in all the dimensions. This is where you can go back and change things. Okay, so if you mess up or you draw something wrong or you extrude it and you realize that's wrong later on or whatever, you can always go back and make changes. You will realize that right-clicking is your best friend in Inventor. If I right-click, usually when I right-click, all kinds of options pop up. And depending on where you right-click, different things pop up. Well, one of the places to right-click is over here in what we call the history, or the browser of Inventor. This tells you everything that you've done so far. So if I right-click on the word extrusion, up pops these windows. The two that we're going to focus on today are Edit Sketch and Edit Feature. If you hit delete right here, it will delete everything. It will delete your sketch and your extrusion at one time. If I click Edit Sketch, that takes me back to that sketch that you drew so I can change things. So I could go ahead and change all those dimensions to be exactly what they're supposed to be and make them the way that they should be. Okay, so I change all those. And the nice thing about Inventor is once I get everything done and changed, when I hit Finish Sketch, it automatically updates it for you. Okay? Now, if I realize that I extruded too far, if I right-click, I can hit Edit Feature. That it changes the length of your extrusion. So Sketch changes your drawings, Feature changes what you extruded. So depending on how you made that error. So I can right-click, hit Edit Feature, and I can change the length of that extrusion, and then now that looks the way it should. Okay. The other thing that I want to point out is, let's say that you are trying to delete this line right here, but it's not letting you. And the reason why it doesn't let you do it is because the dimension tool is picked or another tool is picked. So if you're trying to do something and it doesn't work, hit escape like 3 or 4 times until it goes away. And then now when I right click on this, you'll see that delete option like you want. Okay. What escape does is escape exits out of any tool that you have selected. So if you have something selected and you don't really realize it, escape gets rid of it and then allows Inventor to kind of reset back to where nothing's clicked at all, and you can kind of go from there. So escaping kind of resets the tools. Right clicking gives you a whole bunch of options. And the 2 options that I really wanted to focus on today is when I right click on the word extrusion, you can either edit your sketch or you can edit your feature. And that allows you to change things that you've already done. Okay. Tomorrow, we'll go over again. How do I cut these holes out? How do I make these holes? Or how do I add on features? I showed you a little bit about it, but there's a lot more to it that I want to get into a lot more depth. Your goal today is to try to get that L, the T, and the block done today. I want to try to check those off. If I get you checked off, I will send you this. I'll airdrop it to you so you can start working on these so you have something to work on. Okay?